He just putting it on the spot is weird.
I know, right? Yeah.
This is weird. It is weird.
You know what else is weird? That you're not subscribed to our Patreon. So go to patreon.com/AOTVcast and support us if you want a bunch of exclusive content and extra shit and early access and no ads. Go support us.
That's good.
We love you. Yo, what's up? This episode is brought to you by Guru Cats. Go check out their website, gurucats.com. Use the promo code AOTB for 10% off.
I'm those African Jews, bro. Dude, we're in Laredo.
How your headphones? Good?
Yeah,
you all set?
Good? Everything's good?
Are we all good on there?
Yeah, we're already going.
We're
already rolling.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
We're already rolling.
Oh, shit. All right.
I had it.
Okay,
It
cool.
was already in sync.
Good.
Yeah.
Because we have to sync shit now, bro. I'm telling you.
Yeah, we gotta be out here in sync, man.
Yeah.
In sync.
Yeah.
By the way, new Kids on the Block. They're on tour right now. They're gonna go. My sister's gonna go see them. And I'm sure all the special needs kids will be there too.
Thanks for that, dude. Are we just gonna start off like that? Hey
That's how
guys.
we start out.
This is another riveting episode brought to you. I don't know why I said brought to you, but another episode.
Oh, so you're used to the ad reads. We did fucking 3 hours of like ad reads before this shit. And then at the end, dude, what happened was we have to reshoot some of the stuff rights for our sponsors. At the end, what happened was Josh went to go see the mixer, and he goes, "Oh fuck!" And I was like, "You fucking better not, bro." We were like, there was one time it's only happened like a handful of times, right?
It happened
like
it's happened
2-3 times. Where we've recorded something and lost it completely over the next like hour or whatever, and it has been a lot of work that we had to lose. So not fun.
There is one episode that is forever lost to the sands of time.
Which one?
That it was you weren't on that one.
Oh, okay.
It was me and Nichols. And
the dark arts one.
Yeah, one of the dark arts one.
How's Nichols doing, man?
Good, dude.
He's a doctor.
He's a doctor.
Really?
He's a doctor of X-rays.
He's a radiologist.
He's a radiology tech.
Yeah.
He's a dime now. He's
Yeah.
a dime piece.
He's making cash.
He's
Bro.
a dime piece.
Nice
now.
money.
Yeah. So
Shout out to Nichols, man.
shout out to Nicolia.
But hey, so we got an interesting episode for y'all today. Hit that motherfucking
Song, right?
theme song.
Yep, let's hear the theme song, man. It's been 3 years, bro. Almost 3 years now.
No? Is it
No?
not? That's cool.
Testicle? Testing?
It's not. It's just not playing. That's cool. This is the most awkward it's ever been at an opening, I think.
No, it's okay.
That's fun.
I'll just we'll just code open like this.
A la ri.
Aliens on the border.
The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found.
Faster than light, spaceship of the future.
Our direction of the President of the United States. Stay in your home.
Is it human or inhuman? Earthly or unearthly?
Born in that swirling inferno of radioactive dust, there is no word to describe them.
We may be witnesses to a biblical prophecy come true.
Why is it that we usually ignore the fourth dimension?
Is this the human race of the future?
Aliens on the border.
Just enjoying a nice classic Dr. Pepper, man.
And Dr. Pecker.
Haven't had that in a minute, and it tastes great. 23 flavors of amazing.
That's just what is it? What do they call it? Barbecue water.
Barbecue,
Barbecue water.
Is that
That's
what
a-
this is?
It's
Yeah.
it's got.
I thought that was Big Red.
No, Big Red is just cherry. No, is it? What flavor is Big Red?
It's red.
It's red.
It's like cinnamon.
I don't know what it is, but they're
Why-
both
the gum
Texas.
is cinnamon.
They're both
It's
Texas
true.
brands. That's for sure.
Shout
They're
out to
not made
Texas.
anywhere else. Yeah, Texas.
Wait, like if I'm not in Texas, I can't get Dr. Pepper?
Yeah,
Is that
you
a thing?
can.
No, but you can get Big Red. Like you can go. You can go to like
Oh, fair.
New York and ask for a
Is
Big
Big
Red.
Blue like affiliated with Big Red?
Yeah, it looks
No,
like it.
no, man, they're affiliated with the Crips.
That's just
You got that, cuz?
Allegedly, dude.
nah.
They're
official.
cripping, bro.
Hey, so we've got return guest, a guest that hasn't been on here
In years, quite literally.
Actually, it's
Quite
been,
literally.
It was kind of mind blowing when we were talking to set up this episode.
It didn't
because
feel like that long ago.
It doesn't.
No,
it doesn't
no.
feel like that. But also, I realized that like shit, I haven't really hung out with George like outside of just the occasional like hanging out and maybe the occasional like getting a meal or whatever. But for 2 years. Shit.
Yeah, man.
It's been about 2 years.
Something happened. I don't know.
It is
It was a thing, but
What, dude? What happened?
I don't know. I think it was an STD going around, and nobody. I think it was HIV, AIDS,
syphilis.
Somebody ate
something
some
like that.
bats somewhere.
Somebody
Had some bad Panda Express or something like that.
This is what happened. I loved a woman that was unclean. And then I had to stay away from people for 2 years.
Okay.
A weird thing to admit on the podcast today, but yeah, no, today we've gotten another than Jorge Lopez. No relation to the
That
comedian.
motherfucker owes me residuals, bro.
Yeah, you got the royalty fees.
He's been
in
using
there.
your name, man.
So what's up, dude? I mean, I think what was the last episode that you were on? Was it what we did at the salon? Was that the one?
Yes.
Yeah, right.
I was
shit.
I was really
What
hot.
were we even
For-
talking about?
no, okay, let me tell you something. I'm gonna be completely honest on this podcast right now. I have a mental illness, and I took my medication, and I had forgotten I had already taken it, so I took it twice.
Damn.
So when I showed up at the podcast,
Fucking blasted.
I was drooling on myself.
You're out here like one of the new.
yeah, like I was just like. Yeah,
that's the way
what
he
happened?
sleeps normally. Like whenever I see him.
But yeah, so, I mean, I remember it to be great. I don't remember how I started or the middle part of it, but I remember on the drive home was nice.
I think what happened was, while we were in the middle of podcasting that episode specifically, we were talking about Eminem at first.
Oh, and how he's the worst rap artist
Yeah, how we
ever.
didn't think that he was a good rap artist, and then we just kind of went past that conversation. And then you decided to chime in like an hour later about.
Okay, yeah, I remember that.
Like, hey, but this Eminem conversation, what the fuck?
But Eminem,
like, dude,
bro.
we're past that.
I saw a meme that was like Eminem raps like he's been through racism, and I was like, that's good.
Well, he's from Detroit, man. You know what I mean? Like, Detroit. What?
What does that
Detroit,
have to do
what?
with anything?
I
You know
don't
who else is
man.
from Detroit, dude? Danny Brown.
Danny Brown. That just started his own podcast, too.
Shout out to Danny Brown, sponsors.
Yep.
Did he do his own podcast? Oh, cool.
Oh, he was
a guest, wasn't he?
He is a guest, but he now has a podcast under the umbrella.
Oh,
of
cool.
YMH Studios. All
which
right.
They're like, to comment on what they're doing, they're kind of like dominating the entire week.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is crazy.
Now they are. Definitely.
Two Bears, One Cave, The Danny Brown Show, Your Mom's House,
Dr.
Where
Drew
My
After
Mom's
Dark.
At, and then Dr. Drew After Dark, yeah.
Yep.
Literally
No
like
shit.
5 days a week of content.
Damn. Unless you some get a sweet Spotify deal come in.
Yeah.
There's
dude.
going to be something coming.
Yeah.
They got a deal with Sirius or something like that. I don't know if
I thought it was they had like a
Did it fall
McDonald's
through?
deal too, right? It was
that,
like
I don't know if that was a bid or not.
That's
dude.
funny.
No, it was. They did have it,
And then they
got
saw
it
their
taken-
shit and they're like,
and they
oh,
took it
never
away. They're like, no, they're
Sometimes I get the feeling that that's what's going to happen to us.
They're gonna go back to like a previous episode and be like, "Did you guys hear?"
yeah. That George episode. We're pulling it.
Yeah.
We're pulling it. We're pulling our.
Your ads are gone,
I mean, I don't know. I think if
and
Joe
that's
Rogan,
why go support us on Patreon.
I think if Joe Rogan can keep a Spotify deal, I think we could keep some local businesses.
What's your beef with Joe Rogan, dude?
I'm not saying that.
hate
I'm
him.
just saying he
You
can,
hate
if
him
he can
so
keep-
much, bro.
If he can keep a Spotify deal, that's
Why do you
just
hate
that's
him?
my point. I'm not
Okay,
saying
if
I
you were
hate
in
him.
the same room as him, like how long would it take?
I
for you
would
to start
say,
fighting
dude,
him?
you are an excellent fighter, an excellent commentator, an excellent podcaster. I don't think you're a good comedian.
Would you say that for real?
Wow,
I think
ballsy.
I
You
don't.
would say that for real, like
I
you would
would-
100% say that for real.
I would say
What if you're?
I don't have.
Let me posit.
It's fine. There's comics that I work with that I don't.
funniest
because I know
comic
what
of
you're
this
gonna
era,
ask.
dude. Brendan Schaub.
I think.
Hold on. Do you have a soundboard where you can?
It's all the way over there.
Yeah.
Where our non-existent producer is stationed.
I
at.
have a question for you two guys that have done comedy. I love comedy. Roger knows that. Top 5 comedians working today.
Today?
Shit, that's
Ooh,
good. That's good.
okay.
That's a good conversation to get into. Hey, y'all, this episode of Aliens on the Border is brought to you by our sponsors, Guru Cats. Go ahead and check out Guru Cats on all their social media at Guru Cats. That's GURUCATZ. Check out their website at gurukats.com. Use our promo code AOTB for 10% off checkout.
10%.
Guru Cats is a book series. It's currently being developed into NFTs, even a music album. There's a lot of cool stuff behind the lore of Guru Cats. So go ahead and check that out. And have a good day. I love you. Bye. Me. No, I would say I really like number one's got to be Dave Chappelle. I still think like even this, regardless of like the controversy and stuff or whatever, like he's still a solid comic and a great storyteller and an amazing writer. Nate Bargatze, Tom Segura, Hannibal Buress, and Dimitri Martin, who's still doing that. So I think that's.
I haven't heard Dimitri in such a long time.
I haven't heard him in a long time, but you know why though? He's doing a lot of production stuff and writing for other shows and shit now. So
I heard a story about him like a month into comedy getting like a development deal. Because he was just like, he started comedy at the level he's at right now.
He
like,
talks.
What the fuck?
He talks a lot about how he quit school.
Isn't he like a stupid high IQ?
Yeah. He quit school to do that specifically, and like his mom was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And he's like, "I'm gonna be rich."
Like, chill. I got it.
But yeah, those. If you ask me, like currently, like working, like I think that would be in there.
In terms of, are we talking about like how funny they are or how successful they are?
No, just comedian stand up. Just the core stand-up comedian,
like, but based on their material, right? Like,
right.
Their preference, your top five,
right. Okay. I really like Mark Norman.
Yeah.
I really like Tom Sugar. I'm gonna agree with that one. Aaron Juarez. I don't think that's Aaron Juarez. He's gonna be on an episode soon, so we'll shit on him at that point in time. But anyways, no. So Mark Norman, Tom Segura. I want to say Chris DiStefano, although I haven't seen the special he just put out.
Special Weshy.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but I just really am a fan of his style of comedy just overall. Fuck, man, come on. Who else? Bruce Kirscher, I guess. I like. Well, I don't know. I'll throw him in there, and No, you know what? I can't throw him in there because we're going just based off of stand-up. So, fuck, I don't know where I guess I would say Dave Chappelle because I fuck with his stand-up a lot. But, fuck, I don't know what number 5 would be, dude. Like, I feel like I'm drawing blanks on that. Like,
you still love fucking Louis C.K., don't you?
Oh, yeah. Louis. Yeah, I haven't seen his new shit, but fuck yeah, Louis.
Okay.
Louis for sure.
I'd go Chappelle, Bill Burr.
Oh, fuck
Bill Burr, dude.
Tom Segura. Mark Norman.
Mark Norman is good, dude.
And probably Louis. Either Louis C.K., because he won a Grammy and people are still giving him shit about it, but it was still a great show.
Have you heard his new shit?
Yeah.
I have not, dude.
I have.
I have not.
I'm on top of it, definitely.
No, I haven't.
Well, because you all are busy doing this.
That's
I mean,
true.
not just that. I just like I haven't like sought it out. Like I guess. What about you? So I mean, not what about you, but like what standards do you hold like a comic to? Like, because I think like if you're talking about like content production,
if it's not Louis, then it's Anthony Jeselnik.
Oh, Anthony Jeselnik,
yeah.
Okay,
he's a dark comedian. I like his stuff.
I like.
He's pretty white.
I like Mark Norman and Anthony Jeselnik because they're one-liners. They're just hitters. Yeah. Boom, 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 boom.
And Mark Norman just like, goddamn, I feel like his stand-up crosses over so easily into like any of the podcasts that he's on because like, it's quick. Just continuously like
he's naturally
nonstop.
Funny.
Like,
yeah,
goddamn.
He's always on.
Like, I think that would be a really fun hang. If you can pick 3 comics that you would go out and have like a hang with, who would you pick?
Oh, easy. For sure, I would hang with Joe Rogan. Like I would hang because that's the point I was trying to make earlier. Is I think conversationalist, great. You know, content producer, great. Have thought-provoking conversation. I think is yeah, absolutely.
I feel like you'll come back and be like, I'm voting for Trump again.
I just don't think that it translates well on stand-up, and that's fine. You can have that, you know, feeling because
some people
in the same way that we were talking about Brendan the other day, like he's fucking funny on podcasts. His stand-up sucks. Like I don't like any of his stuff. Yeah, dude, did you watch it?
Yeah,
the Gringo Papi.
Yeah, because and I'll tell you why I think it sucked more than anything, because he doesn't know how to tell the story. He doesn't know how to build it up. Yes, he was just trying to shit on his Mexican family. That was it.
That's fair. Yeah, I just think that
I to not to interrupt you, but also like I still think that there's a positive. I'm a fan of Brenda Swab in the sense that like he is a fucking really hard worker, and I admire that in the sense that he puts out like a lot of different content and a lot of and a lot of different avenues, coming from just beating the shit out of other people to like doing that. You know what I mean? So I think that's cool. I also think that like he needs better friends to be like, hey man, maybe don't turn this into a special yet. Because he did one special like a year or two into comedy. Then the second special now, which is I think like year 4 or 5.
Nobody should have let him do that shit.
No, like
nobody should have let him do that shit. If he had real friends,
they'd be like, no, dude, come on.
And by the way, I think that Roger hanging out with Joe Rogan, he'd be calling him Brogan the whole time. Hey,
Brogan?
Hey, Brogan, what's up?
No, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, like he'd be
I would not do that at all.
I feel like he would get.
I'd want to hang out with.
Oh yeah, back to your top.
I'd want to hang out with Rogan, Bobby Lee, and Cheeto.
Fuck,
Yeah,
that would be really fun, dude.
Yeah,
I'd like to hang out with Mark Norman.
Fuck yeah,
Theo Vaughn.
Theo would be fun.
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
You don't know what the fuck's gonna happen.
yeah. I just want to hear him say like these crazy stories that are not
Tom,
real.
right?
And I'd run out.
Yeah,
Tom
for sure you
Tom
would.
and Bert.
Yeah,
Tom and Bert.
Right, as a team. See what the
That
fuck
counts
that
as
is.
one.
Yeah, that counts as one.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
what about you?
I would put Chrissy D, Mark Norman, and Joe DeRosa. Oddly enough,
Okay, yeah.
which you kind of look like him a little bit.
But whoa.
Who?
Joe DeRosa.
Joe
You
DeRosa.
said that last time,
And I was
showed
like, look at
everybody.
this one
I
picture.
showed
of him.
You should bring
everybody.
up a picture of him
I'll put it right here.
Right.
I don't. Okay, well, whatever.
I'm gonna put it right next to your
dude,
face.
What's that dude's name that you like that just went into rehab for coke and alcohol and then he came out and
Mulaney?
Bobby Lee? Oh,
yeah, and then he came out
Mulaney.
and goes, I'm getting divorced and married a hotter chick, Olivia Munn.
Is that Mulaney?
Yeah, I want to say
I don't know.
Olivia Munn?
Yeah, dude, look it up right now.
Let's
Google
see.
it.
I didn't know.
He
who
came
married
out of
Olivia
rehab.
Munn.
He goes, I don't like drugs anymore. I don't like alcohol, but
I just want better
Oh
pussy.
yeah, dude, Olivia Munn and John Mulaney. What the fuck?
I want a
Let me
hotter
look
bitch.
at John Mulaney. I've never laid eyes on
Bro,
this fool.
he looks weird as fuck. Come on.
He looks like a dork. Bro.
He looks. You know what he looks like?
Oh,
Have you ever seen the music video for Interpol Evil?
No.
Okay, well, there's a puppet it's a pretty. He looks like the puppet from the
Yes,
Evil
he does. Yes, he does.
music video. I'll show you a screenshot of it later. But yeah, so
You can bring that up, too.
I think
I'm gonna put it right here.
I think Mulaney's like probably. I was just watching his special the other day. What was it? New in Town. I was just watching it. Like he has that one joke that I think is like, probably like it's so relatable and hilarious. Which is that one where he talks about growing up. Like I thought quicksand was gonna be a bigger problem than it turned out to be. That shit's fucking funny. Like that whole thing. But yeah. So my point earlier though was like you can like a comic. It's because I don't know Rogan for comedy.
You know him as the Fear Factor guy.
I know him as the Fear Factor and the Man Show guy. Like that's because it was
I
him.
didn't know him for that at all.
I'm surprised nobody brought up David Tell. Y'all wouldn't like.
I like
He's
David
still
Tell,
alive.
but yeah, man.
Yeah, he's still
I thought I saw him walking outside right now in a bag, carrying a bag.
He could be anywhere.
No, I mean David Tell's cool, but he's not my type of comedy.
Oh, okay, he does definitely looks like that.
It fucking looks like him. But
And he got Olivia Munn though.
I don't even know who that is.
Really?
Yeah.
That's the bitch that plays Psylocke in the last X-Men.
And she was watched that shit.
she was
Nobody
like on
watched
the-
that shit. Who watched it?
I did.
I watched it.
Apocalypse though,
Yeah.
not the fucking Phoenix one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched Apocalypse.
Yeah, so she's the bitch in that
I didn't
badass
even know
onesie.
Oscar Isaac was fucking Apocalypse. Did you
Oh,
watch
yeah.
Moon Knight?
You couldn't tell by the nose?
I couldn't tell.
Wow.
Wow.
She's got a
dude,
very
that's
distinct
my-
nose, no? He's Mexican, whatever. No one
this-
cares.
So
he's not Mexican.
Yeah, he is.
So does Delaney. Or what? No, Dimitri Martin.
Oh, Dimitri Martin's
He
got
has
a nose
a
on
fucking
him.
honker.
That guy-
He's
that
got a
guy-
honker
Yeah.
on him, bro.
That
That's-
guy, he's lucky he was born right now and not in the 80s when cocaine was big.
Cocaine's still big in some circles.
Some circles.
But going back to, all right, so what if like Lo Jogan texted you right now and he was
No
like,
joking.
come on to the Brogan
No
experience. Would you do it?
Fuck yeah.
Dude, okay, you have to be stupid to think that I'm saying I would not take an opportunity to like open up for him in like a comedy tour or to
What if
be on
Brendan
the
Schaub
pod.
reached out to you and he was like, hey, can you be my opener?
That's a shit ton of people and all he's gonna do is make it good for me and bad for him because it's just
because you're.
I think I could do well in an opening spot. I'm that confident about it. I feel that confident. I stay humble as much as I can, but I have to come to a point where I can I feel like I can hang at that level.
If you could pick any comic to give you a call right now and be like, I want you as my feature, who would you pick?
Oh, shit. That's a big question, bro.
And then you can actually live up to the hype.
Shit.
Pull up to Calle Ocho Hype and Hobbies and send some motherfuckers to the Shadow Realm because every Saturday they got Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments. And if you fucking thought that was cool, guess what, dude? They got some baller ass shoes. They got Jordans. They got Yeezys. They got SBs. They got anything that you might need. You got a special request? DM them. Find them on Facebook at facebook.com/Calle Ocho Apparel or find them on Instagram at Calle Ocho Hype. And if you want to come and visit the store, you know where the fuck is located at, dude?
It's 1003 Garfield Street in Laredo.
If the shoes weren't enough, if sending your opponents into the Shadow Realms wasn't enough, guess what, dude? They also have anime collectibles. They got knickknacks, and guess what? They also have fucking patty wax, dude. Shit. They got all sorts of knickknacks, all sorts of fucking patty wax. And if you go online to their website, you know what the website is? You want me to tell you?
Yeah, tell me.
All right, dude. So you get on your computer, and then you type in GalleOchoHype.com. Now, you're going to buy something, right? And you're like, my homies, do they got me? Do they got me? Guess what, dude? We got you. Because if you're on checkout and you put in the promo code AOTB, guess what, dude? 10%?
10%, dude.
We're putting that shit in the trunk of our car and stabbing it so that it doesn't go with you on your fucking carts. We love you.
That's it. I don't know, man. I don't think I can. I can't hang with like the big three. Like I can't fucking hang with Burr. I can't hang with Dave Chappelle. I don't think I'd be able. Maybe Segura. I feel like I'd be at that level.
Would you
like for opener? Not that I could do as good as him, but
no,
like,
right?
8
Like
minutes. You got 8 minutes, 10 minutes.
A solid 8.
How long are you doing tonight? But by the way, when this comes out, it'll be way after tonight, so it's not gonna matter.
Just thinking about it makes me fuck. Because also 2 years ago was the first time that I headlined, which is the first time that I did more than 25 minutes. I'm doing 35 tonight.
Can you? Are you ready?
Yeah. I have definitely the content. Okay, so just because you and I haven't talked about this, but not that long ago I did a show in Austin. Yeah. It was a house show. It was a house show where I was just basically doing on a really cool stage that was kind of very like cleverly thought out. But I was doing comedy in somebody's living room. And it was so much fucking fun. They had like what was it, like 10 or 11 seats there, a little makeshift stage, and then people hanging out in the kitchen and stuff. So in attendance there was maybe about 15 people there. Because I drove up there, Ty Nguyen, shout out to Ty. He tells me, he goes, dude, you drove up here, like I'm gonna give you money for gas, but I also just want to give you as much time as you want. So just go crazy, have fun up there. I said, okay, cool. I went on after Aaron. Yeah. No. Somebody followed Aaron, and then it was me. I went on after that person, and I just didn't even pay attention to the clock. I was just like, I'm going to go, and I'm going to do what I want to do because I want to have fun.
Just dropped a bunch of N-bombs over.
No, not at all. I was a little tipsy, and so I was just there doing my thing. I was rounding off towards like one of my last jokes, and one of the ones that I usually use for a closer. And I ask Ty, I'm like, hey, man, how much time am I at? He's like, you've done 35 minutes. And I still had like 3 jokes left. I was like, you're fucking with me. He goes, no, you've done 35 minutes. So I rounded off at like 38 minutes, more or less. Because when I heard 35, I was like, I'm going to end it right here. And Aaron was there.
I know, yeah.
Aaron was there. I had already made plans with Aaron to headline the rooftop back in like March or whatever.
For July originally.
But for July originally. So when I think after he saw me do that in Austin, this like 2 or 3 weeks ago, he was like, dude, the person that I was going to have headline this month, like he's like, they dropped or whatever. We're not going to have them on. So he was like, I want you to do it. I think you're ready. And I was like, fuck it. Let's do it. So that's tonight. And I'm really nervous about it. Actually, I'm very nervous about it because I haven't done that much time in a while. But I'm sure once I take some time, just chill out a little bit and really, level today. After this, I get some food, take a nap, get a haircut, and then chill, and I'll be good. The thing that's kind of psyching me out, if I'm being honest, what thing that's psyching me out is that tonight, a lot of people that are going, that have already bought their tickets or reserved the table, are friends of mine who, in the 3 years that I've been doing comedy, have not seen me do comedy, other than like a little snippet that I've maybe posted on Instagram or whatever. So I feel like my friends are like the harshest critics, right? So I feel I can without a doubt, I can, crush in a room full of strangers and expect them to be like, dude, great show, whatever, right? But these are my friends that I talk to on the daily, Like, you've seen, like, I'm not worried about performing in front of you because...
We perform in front of each other all the time.
Yeah, you've seen me do this shit, like, already for years, right? You've seen me once before. I think you've seen me a couple of times, too. But this is going to be the first time that I'm going to do not 5 minutes, not 10 minutes, a fucking 35-minute set. Like, that's a lot of time to be up there.
That's a good porn movie.
It's, that's...
You're going to have 30 extra minutes. Because we're porn.
That's it. I would see 33, dude. I'll just say, but shit, man. Yeah, so I psyched myself out just thinking about it.
10 rounds of a boxing match.
That's right, dude.
Fuck. It is 35 minutes, but
it's actually almost 12. That's like 11 rounds.
Yeah, that's a little. I mean,
all right. Well, I'm not gonna. Don't psych me out anymore about it. But what was your question even regarding to that? I even forgot.
I don't know.
Jesus Christ.
All right, so going back to why you hate Joe Rogan.
Sorry to interrupt you. Why don't you go home right now and watch a couple of Joe Rogan specials and rip off some of his jokes? Man.
No, I'm not going to do that.
A little bit, couple of fillers.
We have a patron named Isaac who is notorious for going to an open mic. And thinking, I guess I don't know if he blanked out on stage or if he thought that an open mic was supposed to be like you doing like a comedy karaoke. So he went up there and he fucking ripped 5 minutes of just straight Tom Segura jokes the whole time, like straight from the special. And and it was funny because I had just started comedy around that time. And I remember I wasn't at the mic, but I remember hearing like everybody being like, fuck that guy. How are you going to show up to a mic and do somebody else's material? And I don't know what. But everybody was like, that guy's hilarious.
Only the comedians complained. Everybody else had a great time.
Everyone was like, damn, bro.
There was another guy in the scene. We don't speak his name. But
it rhymes with Schmabber Schmalta.
He got on the scene and he was doing so well, dude. So well, like he got
onto a showcase in like 3 months.
Not just a showcase here locally. He was crushing up in Austin and shit. He started putting out ads saying like, "Hey, I can do parties. I can do birthdays, dinners, whatever you want to do." He started putting out shit like that, and we were like, "All right, man, it's cool to see this guy doing well. It's cool that he was." Kind of birthed at the open mic that I run at Cultura, and it's cool to just see somebody kind of prop themselves up in the comedy scene, and then like 3 months into him doing the joke, it was Parra, he sends us all, because we were on a group chat, he sends us a link, and he's like, go to this number time or whatever, this minute mark, and we go to that minute mark, word for word, one of the guy's jokes. So then we started, I think other people started kind of like taking note and started doing their own, I guess, kind of investigation. We find out this guy was taken from Facebook, from YouTube, from Netflix specials, like all these things. He was just straight up ripping entire like 5-minute things. And it I think all of us were kind of like, we knew it was too good to be true, because this guy was like weirdly good.
Like out of fucking nowhere.
I remember going up to him and saying like, dude, is this really your first time doing comedy? He goes, yeah. And I was like, you fucking killed up there. That was incredible.
You know what was the biggest red flag for me?
And I asked him, I was like, when did you come up with the material? And he goes, oh, this afternoon. I got high on my lunch break and I wrote all this down.
I was there and I witnessed this conversation. And you know what was the biggest red flag for me that should have been like a huge telltale? He was a fucking Jesus freak. There's no way that like a Jesus freak was going to be that good for no reason out of nowhere.
I don't know. I remember
it was like hardcore.
I'm not going to talk all that shit though, because like his dad's with the feds, and I was like a whole thing that he was saying.
My dad is with the feds.
It was.
Well, how do you know that's true? Because he was like,
because
Yeah, dude, come on. He's a fucking Jesus freak.
We can go into some other stuff off camera or something.
He might be a Muslim. He might be a Muslim. He might not even be a Jesus.
No, he definitely was. And he
one.
proclaimed it.
Yeah, 100%.
And there was some funny shit that happened on the route to the first showcase that I've hosted and been on. And it was just so overly unnecessarily dramatic on the way with like the clashing of the personalities of comedians.
That's right. I'll talk about that. We had a showcase. It was called The Real Ones.
The Real Midgets of Laredo.
The Real Ones. It was just The Real Ones. And it was supposed to be like an ongoing thing, but it was actually the last happy hour show that happened.
It was a happy hour.
So Aaron put up this show together. So it was going to be Aaron, me, Josh, Orly, Franny, and Parra and the guy that we're talking about. So fucking 7 comics on the bill. Then we were all going to do what, like 15 minutes, 15, 20 or something like that?
No, I definitely got 3 minutes.
That's right. It was like, Josh was hosting.
Yeah.
And it was funny as hell because Josh, in case you've never seen him in this mode before, but Josh, when he drinks and he's hosting, he just gets progressively more like gangster. So by the end, he gets up there and he's like, "What's up, motherfuckers? We're about to do this fucking
everybody
comedy
put your
shit
rollies
for y'all."
in the sky.
Everybody
Waving side to side.
Yeah, he had a fucking bandana with him. He started waving in his shit. He's like, "Fucking go!"
Some
y'all
girl
ready?
flashed her tits in the crowd.
100%. Towards the end of the night, I was convinced that he was going to say an N-word. 100%.
Didn't though.
He didn't. But he was close to it.
Because I'm a professional.
But
not because, I'm civilized, but
yeah. And so we had gone to my old place and we were just taking pictures to do
like the promo
for the
run.
flyer, for the flyer. And while we were doing that, this comic and Aaron ended up getting into it.
Like really heated. They were about to throw hands for no reason, really.
Yeah.
Other than they were busting each other's balls and one of them got too sensitive. I don't even remember who. But
I don't remember either.
Because
it could have been either one.
Yeah,
honestly.
it could have been either one. And overly sensitive to just busting each other's balls. And then like it just went to another level. And we were like, the show almost got canceled.
Yeah, they almost fucking threw him off the show. And here's the thing. At this
point in time, we had no idea.
We had no idea he was a
yeah.
So I was co-signing him hard. So I told him, Aaron, if you're gonna boot this guy off the show, I'm also not gonna do the show. And he's like, all right, fuck it. I was like, okay. And then
I take that back.
And then he actually everybody left, but Aaron used to live like 2 or 3 streets down from where I live. So he was like, hey man, I'm gonna go back. Let's talk. Whatever. He came by. We talked. And they settled their shit a little bit after that, but it was they were about to fight right outside of my place. I think everybody was kind of like, this sucks. Everybody left, but yeah, it was,
I would have let it happen.
I mean, we weren't interfering. We were just kind of like, dude, chill the fuck out. Like everybody was telling jokes. But
I remember your place. It would have been a good ring inside in that big garage.
Yeah, it's been a lot of things, but I think now it's a studio. It's still a studio for art. But yeah. Speaking of,
yes.
George,
I heard you do art. Is that true?
Part time sometimes. When
dude,
I'm bored.
the last time that we had like a long conversation was at your show, which was what was it called? And it was at Laredo Center for the Arts, but what was it again?
Obsolescence.
I was gonna say something else, but
you're gonna say obsequious.
No, I was gonna say the Reflections one, but that was the more recent one. That wasn't so George is an artist and like one of my personal favorite artists, and I'm not saying that just because he's one of my good friends and one of my best friends, but also just because I have some of his art. I don't own it apparently, but I have it, and I just put it up recently.
Just
actually,
NFT it, dude.
NFT it.
I just put it up recently, and that's a conversation we can get into
100%.
Because the more recent episode that we had with Jeff, we were talking about NFTs and we were really hyping up the crypto market, which has since spiraled terribly.
A lot of people lost a lot of money.
It not only did it tank, it got completely fucked. It's at the most unstable it's
Altcoins
ever
at
been.
least, yeah.
No, even Bitcoin was taking a huge fall. Even the more popular altcoin, which was Ethereum or whatever, tanked hard.
Well, I told.
Where are we at? What are you looking at?
His has gone up. Whatever.
You can say it. Which one? What is it though? What are you holding? You got Dogecoin. What's Ethereum at right now?
Like 2 something, 21 something.
2000? 2009. Okay, it was at 4,000 at its peak. So you're talking about whatever you had right now, double.
The peak though, like at its most stable, was hovering like around
it's
3.
under 2K now, dude. What do you mean? It's under 2K. Damn.
Well,
So it's the time buy now, but it's not financial advice.
I told Roger my theory about the NFTs and why I felt that inevitably it would, I wouldn't say tank, but it was going to take a drop.
It was a bubble.
It was a bubble. Like at the beginning of the internet bubble, I believe that Jeff talked about the Web 1 when all the startup companies came up.
You listened to our podcast, dude. That's crazy.
Thank you.
Thank you, bro.
Okay. So he was talking about the Web 1, and that's how it was. All these companies popped up out of nowhere.
Yeah. And
everybody was trying to make, and a lot of people made a lot of money, and then it burst and it fucked over a lot of people. And NFTs, the way I saw it, because a lot of people told me, hey, you should do NFTs, you should do this, you do artwork, blah, blah, blah. But when I started seeing the ones that were of value, like the little monkey, it was a monkey that was the most popular.
The Bored Ape.
Right.
Whatever.
And I just thought to myself, that's a sticker on a fucking skateboard right now. That shouldn't be the most valuable thing on this.
Yep.
And because of that, I realized this isn't going to last. This is a bubble that's going to burst. It's not until somebody gives things that are of literal value. Like, and I made an example to Roger, like, let's say Quentin Tarantino would put up some of his deleted scenes out of his movies.
That would be a bad glass NFT.
I saw that podcast. There was a conversation that he had. Quentin Tarantino talked about it himself. He was even him himself. He was like, "Oh, if you sold that, they were talking about if you sold that one still where both
they've got
no. In Pulp Fiction when Samuel Jackson and Travolta are holding the guns. If you would have gotten that still, which has turned into like a meme, you would easily make like $1 million or whatever, right? And he was like, yeah, but like, what would you own? And he was talking about the whole like digital real estate thing next, which is like, I own a piece of that art.
Right, because to like elaborate, like when you buy an NFT, it's not necessarily the image that you own, but the address where that image is stored.
Well, and I'll tell you this. Another problem that it's going to arise from the NFTs is all these people that, let's say you did, like, let's say what happened recently in the last 5 years. People that start getting in trouble for things they did 10 years ago, right? Or 15 years ago, right?
Like the whole cancellation stuff? Or
yes.
Okay.
But with NFTs, you're literally leaving footprints, bro.
Yeah, because it's all on the blockchain.
Right. So if you, let's say, hypothetically, you bought a piece of an underage girl adult thing or whatever, or let's say anything, or you said something or it was writing and it becomes something, it stays there forever. You're connected to it forever. You can't erase your history at all now. With NFTs, anything you purchase, that blockchain keeps it. So I know I've said some fucked up shit when I was in a Yahoo chat in 2004. Can you imagine if you know?
I want to buy your Yahoo chat NFTs,
Right. So people... basically, all that would be public all the time. Everything you're putting down on NFTs is public forever, and it's literally connected to your name, like you said.
Not necessarily, because it could be connected to a wallet, which the wallet doesn't necessarily divulge the identity of who the owner.
but it doesn't.
So it's like a layer.
But that's how many people know that. Like that's not. We're not talking about like encrypted fucking
right. But like
wallets.
So the way that you purchase NFTs and everything, like they're all encrypted with wallets.
Yeah.
So like you can get the address of a wallet, but it's still not going to tell you who that person is. Like
right.
So that it's built into the way that you buy them.
But
in a sense,
if maybe I'm mistaken, by an address they can track anything.
Hey guys, Josh is in LA right now, so I'm stuck recording with my home gear. So there's a little bit of a difference in audio quality. I'm sorry about that. But I did want to give a shout out to our new sponsors, American Fireworks. That's at 4358 Del Mar Boulevard. Their stand right across from that big church on the intersection of Del Mar and Bob Bullock. You really can't miss it. They're going to be open from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. from June 24th through June 30th. And from 9 a.m. to midnight for July 1st through the 4th. You can call them and get some information at 210-718-1808. We'll put that number somewhere here on the screen. And go ahead and go show them some love. Tell them Aliens on the Border sent you. Love you. Peace. This episode of Aliens on the Border is also brought to you by Porvida Tattoos. Go ahead and check out Gabe at Porvida Tattoos. Tell them Aliens on the Border sent you. And go ahead and check out their info. You can book your appointment on their website at porvidacs.com. Also check them out on Instagram at Porvida Tattoos. A lot of cool stuff that Gabe's been doing around the town. Big supporter of the podcast. Please go show them some love as well. Oh,
yes and no.
I've also seen through like Facebook profiles, like when people say that they publicize a lot about like what they own and what they have, or whatever, that they can get in there and hack funds and shit.
Because I don't think right now they've set in. Maybe I'm wrong. You can look it up, but this is my theory. I don't think they've thought about the long term of protecting like all that information. They've made it to where like they put a blanket over this. They put a blanket over the bottle so you can't see it. But they haven't really sealed it in a safe right now. Because they don't see any danger. They don't see it as
one of the things that like is hard to grasp when talking about Web3, and I'll be completely frank, like I thought you were Josh. I'm assuming that's mine. Now I'm assuming like a larger role in a project that is involved with creating NFTs. So
right.
Like as a part of it, I have to educate myself on how this entire thing works. Right.
So
through that process is why I'm bringing this information to it, because like the concept of Web3 is exactly that. It's a concept of a lot of different ideas with new forms of technologies that a lot of them are based on certain types of codes that can create more efficient ways to do a lot of things that we do now. So like the foundation of what is these things that like non-fungible tokens specifically, or like crypto or whatever, it sounds very much like woo-woo or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Yeah, like you know, like you're fucking pulling shit out of thin air, right? But the foundational thing that is across the board on a lot of these things is the tech and the code that creates them, right? And like the way that you can utilize that to do different things. And
no, I agree.
And a lot of it is still in the theoretical stage.
That's what talking about.
That's what I agree with you 100%.
Yeah,
but it's just like when people were making websites.
That's the point that I'm trying to make, though, is that like they're
in their infant state.
When we're
right now, what you all are doing is in its infant state.
100%.
What I was thinking,
and that's
when you were saying that, saying that earlier. You were talking about how when Web 1 was coming around, whatever, and a crash happened and all that kind of stuff, that a lot of people lost money and stuff like that. But there was still some like it was practical. Like you could use it for something.
Right.
Like what do you use NFTs for? Right.
Only if you live in the metaverse.
That's my point, though, is that like that's not even really like a.
I could see that happening in about 10 years.
So they could be like a vehicle for things that are known as like smart contracts. So in a smart contract, it's essentially like a piece of code that you can write to encrypt onto the blockchain that performs certain functions. They're essentially like a piece of programming code that are like if-then scenarios. So let's say, for example, like to that the tech, I understand the novelty of like the
that's
NFT.
The point that's what I was trying to say. It sounds very novel.
But the underlying tech behind it is what is important. So, for example, like in a smart contract, and check out Whiteboard Crypto, because that's like a big place to like learn more and understand from it. And that's like where I've been researching a lot of, and a bunch of other places. But point is, so the example of like why the tech is important is like you can essentially create entire organizations or DAOs that are autonomous organizations.
Yes.
Right.
The whole decentralization thing.
Yeah, decentralized autonomous organizations. And using these smart contracts, you can have things like an insurance company, right? Like, for example, if person A is paying X amount of dollars or whatever, if there's like a car accident or whatever, then the coverage gets paid out, right? So like that creates like an automatic thing that bypasses all the bullshit that has to happen right now for like that specific type of thing. And it can be applied to a lot of different types of real world things that we do right now to make them more efficient. So
no, I believe that all that will function. I just don't believe it'll happen within the next 5 years.
It's probably closer like to 10.
A nest egg then?
No. What I'm saying is that everyday people won't be able to utilize it the way it's supposed to be done. They need to tweak it, find it. It's like websites. Websites used to cost you, hey, make me a website, $2,000-$3,000 to get a website.
Now you can just pay $30 on Squarespace a month.
Right,
You're good.
and that's what I'm saying. It's going to get to that point. I'm not doubting that it has that ability, but I think it's going to go through a lot of pitfalls, a lot of downtimes, ups and downs, until they fine-tune it and go, okay, now this is, because it's, right now it seems to me like an offshore banking situation.
Because it depends, right? Like, it depends on how you classify what, and again, I'm just going to go back to specifically NFTs, like how to categorize what is valuable. Because if you're just looking at the thing as the image, that's not what the entire thing is, right? Like, there's a couple of things that you have to consider. Like, one is rarity, right? Like, past ownership, the actual image itself, I guess, and like, what is it tied to? You know what I mean? Like, what's the IP behind it?
That's why I thought that ape
intellectual property, not necessarily in the protocol.
Right. That's why I thought that ape, when I saw it and I saw the value, I was like, no, that's not true.
Yeah. So
like, that's false.
To understand NFTs in a better way, it's like depending on where it's coming from and what team is putting together any specific NFT. If it's being put together for the sole purpose of just being an image that you're going to buy, then probably it's not really valuable, right? Now, there's other ways where, let's say...
So what would give it value?
That's what I'm saying. Like, it depends on like the team that's around it, like the community that's built into it.
It's so that's what I'm saying. It's all...
Now,
imagine if you go back to the beginning of when Disney was founded and you buy a stock of it.
Hold on. No, I understand how
that's tangible.
Hold on. And again, we're talking about if you went back. It's like if I went and bought Apple stock. Now, if that ape would have been drawn by Banksy, yes, it would be valuable.
That's what I'm saying.
That's the whole thing.
It depends on what's around it.
Like, if it's done by Josh, and Josh never does anything again, but that ape, then there's no value to the fucking thing.
My point is also just like the whole point of like what you can use is like what it functions for, right? Like, we know the whole thing for
what does art as an art
piece
function for?
We know the whole thing for Beeple. Well, that's the thing though. It's not being marketed as art. It's not. It's being marketed as
an asset.
An asset. That's what it is.
It's an aspect of it.
I don't think so.
You can focus on one thing, and it also depends who's doing the marketing to you. Because it's not like there's a board of, hey, NFT. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean,
like, there's different teams that are creating different projects. And it just depends on like what team you believe in, or like what team is actually going to bring value to what the NFT is.
I'll tell you this, as an artist, not a recognized artist, but as an artist,
right?
I know this.
I recognize you, bro.
I've seen you before, so I recognize
you. Thanks, man. But like, one thing that gives art, like regular fine art, real life art, not internet art, is that if it's auctioned at Sotheby's, Christie's, those are places that have
prestige,
right?
And that's also like
it goes back to
shitty. It's the whole art market in general is shitty. Like
hold on,
is it really though?
Hold on.
Yeah,
I'll tell you.
As a consumer, but not as an artist.
I'll give you an argument. Is that these guys are supposed to, their job, like he said about teams, that hopefully that's what will happen in NFTs. These guys they have staff that are art historians that have all these qualifications to say, hey, this piece is a Rembrandt from this time. This is what it's worth, the value of it. And now they auction it. But people don't just show up and go, hey, I got a bottle right here. Can you put it at Sotheby's?
They break it and put it on top of a white stand, and they're like, "Look,
that's the whole thing about like
Jackson Pollock or whatever."
I mean, even still, like I can respect like the method and everything behind it. I'm not dunking on like artists themselves and art in general. It's just the art market is just it's also like we say speculative, right? Because it's just based on whatever one person decides to put. I think a big tell behind. Ruben, for example, you were just talking about right now. We have Ruben off camera, and we were just talking right now about Dogecoin, right? And we mentioned how like intangible and how like volatile that is, right? Because and how it's just the market in general is just pure speculation, right? Because all it needed to do to go to the moon was Elon Musk to fucking tweet about it, right? And then the moment that he did a rug pull, right? And he fucked everyone over because he said he's not going to use Dogecoin for anything for Tesla or any sort of like payment system, then it tanked again, right? And a shit ton of people lost a lot of money, right? All based on speculation. I think NFTs, I mean, maybe they have some sort of applicability, I guess, later on in the future or whatever.
Right, I'm sorry, finish your point.
But right now, if you're talking about it like it's just a funding project and to make a fucking Kickstarter, show me what it is that's actually coming out of there. Like you're talking about, I don't know.
There's some artists that I've seen that their NFTs aren't even that valuable, but they're amazing at what they're doing.
But that's it, and that's again another speculation thing too, right? Because it's just people based on whatever it is that they
like
feel
that's the kind of work they do.
Apply.
Digital work.
Yeah,
they do.
Yeah, like people,
people. That guy.
He's the one who started it, right? That was the one who started. Wait, I mean.
And
who's the one who really pushed it into mainstream?
Yeah, I would say
he made what like it was like 60 mil or some shit like that. It was some ridiculous amount because he had he did what was it 5,000 pieces of art for 5,000 days or some shit like that.
Yes,
and then he sold that series or pieces of those the art that he kind of sectioned off into NFT coins, but it was something that you could like place and say like this is you own this or whatever, right? But he has those digital pieces now that are owned by people on the blockchain, right? People didn't even know what the fuck it was at the time. They were still buying the shit, right? And I think that is a big part of it. I think people have a lot of like fear, like the FOMO stuff.
So it's also a tax write-off.
Yeah, I think it's just a FOMO thing. But that's the way when I was saying on the other episode, I felt like it's a multi-level marketing scheme. Like I didn't feel like it was much of value. But I guess we'll see, right? Like I'm not educated on it. I'm not a fucking expert or anything like that. I just
neither am I, to be clear.
I just I wanted to get your input on it, George, because I felt like we had talked about this before about you making NFTs, and you were just kind of like, eh.
Yeah, because people have asked me to do it since it started, and I was like, when I would look at the places, the website where they had them to make the blockchains and all that, and I had a couple of friends that I knew that were doing it. None of them were I think the person I knew that made the most amount of money on there was $1,000, and that was it. And maybe about 10 people had bought the work, and that was it. Like it wasn't even that great. It wasn't even like...
Yeah, like I've seen, like if you go on an OpenSea or whatever, you can see the one that are like the most moving or whatever. There's some that sell for like 99 ETH.
And they're...
Right? And they're like hundreds of thousands of dollars. And they're just like, what the fuck is this? Like, yeah, like
and
it doesn't make any sense.
Again, I think it's like a tax write-off for people that have a lot of money. But
that was the whole point of like the regulation thing too. They were saying that it was a big place for like laundering money or some shit.
Yeah, exactly. But to change the subject completely, to make it more interesting, top 5 hip hop groups.
Groups?
Oh, you know what? We can have
top five hip hop.
I don't
Let's
want to
start there, and then we'll go to the point that you want to make.
No, because
I
want to because we don't have much time left, and I want to keep. I want to talk about the stuff that George is working on.
Oh,
okay, all right.
Because I mean, I think it's interesting. What do you feel? You feel it's not interesting? I know you're trying to stay humble and stuff, but big. So let's talk about it. I think it was a big milestone, especially in your career, because you've been, you were working on a lot of these pieces, over like the span of our friendship. Basically, when we first met, was it like 4 years ago? 4 years ago?
Yeah, I started the works, and then I stopped, or then. That thing happened, whatever happened. And then I kind of stopped, and then when things started kind of clearing up and opening up, somebody reached out to me and said, hey, why don't you do would you be interested in doing the show? And I said, they said, can I see your work? And I was like, sure. And then so I went and showed them my work. And they were like, hey, you should do a show here, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, all right. And it was kind of confusing. There was a lot of miscommunication. But in the end, it ended up being at the Center for the Arts. And Rosie, the director there, really helped me out. And she was great. And what I decided to do was I started doing these larger works. And most of my work had always been black and white, but I decided to do a thought that I had during that time that we were all locked down or whatever, was that I was gonna try to make colors that were pastel and like kind of like Easter egg kind of colors, like just real lighthearted colors, but with very heavy subject matter.
Okay.
Very, very dark, kind of dark imagery that I already had, but I was gonna paint them in baby blue and lilac and yellow and pink and all colors that kind of didn't go with what it was. And that's what I started doing. I started doing all these large scale paintings based on that. And part of the thing with obsolescence was the reason I named it obsolescence was because it was a state of being obsolete, right? It means a state of being obsolete. And I think that during that whole time that we were locked down, what I often thought about was, for me, because of my condition or whatever, being locked down wasn't anything. It was like I had been in prison for 10 years. They come back and they go, hey, you got to do 6 months. Like, I could do 6 months standing on my hand, bro. Standing on my head. It ain't nothing to me. But I saw a lot of people, and I'm not going to say no names, but like I saw a lot of people that I thought had their shit together. People that seemed solid. People that had actually fucked with me about my mental illness or kind of downplayed my mental illness. Crack. Be calling me like, yo, at 3 a.m, like, it'd be, I'm not saying, I'm just going to use the example, you didn't do it, but Josh would call me 3 a.m.
I did it.
Josh.
I did it for sure.
George.
But I never really had my shit.
George, man, how you doing, man? I it's not working out with my chick. I fucking hate her. I don't know what I'm doing. How did you do? I'm like, bro, chill the fuck out, bro. Like, calm the fuck down. You're tripping right now. And I knew because I've been in that mental state, right? But people that I thought were completely okay, had healthy relationships, had, great lives, they were falling apart because they couldn't go to the movies and to a restaurant. They were like, and they had to see their broad, which Roger doesn't like when I use that word, but they had to see their broad 24 hours a day, 7 days a week now, where they used to see her only maybe 2 hours a day. So now they actually had to get to know the person they were with. And that's when they realized that, wait, I'm not supposed to be here.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe very like, enough said, like a little, just getting a little personal about it. But that shit that shit strained a lot of people's relationships. I was not excluded from that myself.
I know I stopped masturbating for a while. Go ahead.
You got
George and I, when I met him, I had just started. I mean, I was only like a couple months into dating the girl that I was dating at the time, and so our friendship was kind of like, it was him always kind of like dealing with the things that I was kind of going through at that time.
By proxy.
By proxy, yeah. Because we were just really close friends. We would hang out like fucking every day pretty much. And then COVID started. And then it was like, George was like, I don't want to get my folks sick. I don't want to get you sick. I don't want and I was like, I don't want to get my parents sick or anyone sick either. So it really forced us to like, just not hang out. We would just talk on the phone all the fucking time. But we hadn't. It wasn't until shit. Actually, dude, you and I didn't hang out until last summer, right?
Yeah, until everybody got vaccinated.
Once everybody
people
started
got
getting out.
vaccinated.
Yeah, we hung out last summer and.
This episode is also brought straight to your face and into your ears by the Porvida International Tattoo Fest. This last one was a grand slam success, and if you didn't go, you really missed out, which means I didn't go, and I really fucking missed out.
It was beautiful.
It was beautiful. I've seen all the pictures, saw a lot of good shit. Shout out to everyone that went this year, and if you're looking forward to making it out for next year, you are in luck. It'll be at the beginning of January, on January 6th, 7th, and 8th of 2023. And if you're interested in being a part of, if you're a tattooer and whatnot, and you want to be on the roster, guess what? There's booths available now. So go to the website. That's porvidatattoofest.com. Also follow the social media page on Instagram at Porvida Tattoo Fest. We love you. We will see you there in 2023, you and me. This episode of the podcast is also brought to you by Consafos Print Co. Go check out their stuff. They got some badass t-shirts. They got a whole lot of merch. Go to consafosprintco.com and follow them on Instagram at csprintco. They recently got their shit hacked, bro, so we're trying to help them build their followership back up. And on Instagram, again, that's at csprintco. Go and check them out. Show some love.
In July, and at that point, I had already started dating the girl I'm currently dating now.
What's her name? She hosts a podcast.
Oh, yeah. My current girlfriend, CEO. And
shout out.
And
the bitching hour 956.
We went and we sat down and we talked, and I remember just being like, dude, holy shit, I haven't fucking seen you in so long. And he was like, yeah. I was like, he's like, a shit ton of changed at that point. But yeah, that strain, that like feeling of like abandonment, and that just the general uncertainty. I remember going through it because like every time me and the last girl I was dating, we'd break up, I'd always just go over to this fucker's house and just hang out, and like we would talk or go get food, or we go to like the comedy
but here,
shows
there was
or whatever.
Nowhere to go.
And then this thing happened where my mom got COVID, and it was around January of was it January of last year? Yeah, shit, it was January of last year.
Yeah.
And dude, I remember feeling like it was the darkest point of my life, because I literally thought my mom was gonna die. I thought I was in the middle of handling other people getting sick. The time that we and rest in peace. The time that we that we found out that my mom had COVID, we were at the funeral for one of our friends' dad's funeral. It was. Yeah. And then we had, people in the comedy scene. It was a comic who passed away. So all these things like were just like
wild. Yeah,
just kind of crashed on. And I remember just kind of just being like, George, like, I don't think I'm gonna make it, bro. Like honestly, like get this. So I'm going through these issues, and I won't get too into it, but I'm going through these things which you knew we were going through or whatever. And so the breakup happens, and we were still living together because it was like difficult to kind of get out, especially with all the stuff going on. Finally, she moves out, right? And at the time that she moves out, my roommate, who now ex-roommate, because we don't live together anymore. But my roommate Sam,
shout out to Sam.
She was my rock, dude. Like she was the one that was really kind of keeping me afloat. And she fucking leaves to Mexico City for 3 weeks. In the middle of that happening, the freeze happens. Yes. So dude, I remember one time that area that we took the pictures in, the place that we talked about that's now an art studio. One night, the fucking power went out. Right, the power went out because it was freezing outside or whatever. I got in a jacket and I went and I grabbed a planter, what's it called, a pot, like a little ceramic pot, and I threw a bunch of like cardboard and shit in there. I just fucking lit it on fire, and because the place was ventilated, right? And I was just sitting on the other side where I was feeling like the heat and stuff, and I remember just like having a cigarette and just going like, "Yo, this is rock bottom if I've ever felt it." Like I just remember feeling like damn, bro. And it was just me and my dog, dude. And I remember like texting this guy, making sure, like, hey, you got everything good. Luckily, one of my friends, shout out Laredo, was like, dude, go to my parents' place. Like, you know, you have a bed there. And there I went and stayed with them until I got power back. And then things, you know, the spring rolled around and shit just started looking up. And
then when I did the show was September. Right after that, everything had cleared off, the spring, and then the summer cleared up, and then I did the show.
Yeah.
And rolling back to what we were saying, what I realized is that people's identities became obsolete. Like Josh, the podcaster, Roger, the comedian, or this person at the bar that everybody knows your name type of shit. That's where you went every Wednesday and Friday. You weren't that guy anymore. You were just at home. If you were a teacher, you weren't a teacher anymore. You were just at home. Your identity had been erased. So now you just had to live with you. You didn't have to live, you weren't living hey, Josh, I'm a podcaster. I do comedy. I do this. No, you don't do any of that shit. You just stay home and you live with yourself. That's what it means.
Yeah, I think my experience was like a lot different from all of that. I became a dad during the pandemic, so like, wow, that was one thing. You know, I started a different relationship and everything as well. So like,
it was a rebirth.
Yeah, it was like a huge shift as fuck, like for sure.
That's really what it felt like, honestly. If you use that term, like a restart, it was just like a giant reset button for everything. I got COVID like last month for the first time.
I got COVID at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, so
it was fake as fuck though. No COVID.
Oh, dude, I had the worst time. I'm still feeling some of the effects now. Like I
still had such a mild case that I was like, am I sure I'm positive?
I got chlamydia, but I don't think it's the same thing.
Right now they're talking about hepatitis. So there's a hepatitis outbreak happening.
Really?
Yeah, also kids, bro. So
hold on.
Careful.
It's cleared up chlamydia now, just to put it out.
Okay.
I don't know. I want to make sure everybody knows that.
I always told George that he should try comedy. You think he tried it once, right? He did it once at the Cold Brew. Yes. I was drunk as hell, so I don't remember it happening, but I remember like, Ruben was there too. He knows because he paid my tab.
Yeah, I think you owe him $60.
I owe you $60 or something like that, right? I was
hey, just like Ruben wanted to buy him a beer. He goes, put it on my tab, and then Rogers just kept going, yeah, put it on.
That's not what happened, bro. That's not what happened, bro.
He was like, you don't know who I am? I'm fucking Roger.
That's not what happened.
Shots for everybody. Nope. Put it on his tab.
That's not what happened because he was like, hey, put it on my tab, and I was like, oh, cool, thanks, man. And then he asked the girl that I was with, like, do you want something to drink? She's like, yeah. He's like, put it on my tab, and then I went back for like another round and I was going to put it on my tab.
Oh, I remember this.
And he was like, yeah, it was not a good night, dude. It was not a good night. It was, but yeah, it was an interesting one.
I wasn't there, but I was there for the aftermath.
Yeah, the aftermath was interesting.
Man, I got all the stories in case anybody wants to know.
No, don't. He has all the dirt. He does have all the dirt.
Yeah, you can contact me.
Yeah, get all the skinny on Roger.
Zio, I'm right here. Just you want to reach out.
Zio knows.
Go on her podcast and talk all this shit, dude.
Hey, Zio, you need me on your podcast? You got my number. Hit me up.
You make it sound like I did fucking something terrible. I
did a bunch of terrible.
It'll be like Trash Tuesdays. I'll show up.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, fuck yeah. Just lay down the real truth
I
about
didn't
Roger.
do anything awful. I wouldn't
say awful, just horrible.
This is a dark time. Dark time.
He peed inside a
That's
cold
not
brew.
what the fuck.
By the
That's
bar.
not what happened.
Absolutely.
I don't even remember. I remember leaving. I remember like leaving the door. This is back when it was the old brew, dude. That was like the old
The Sambed one or what?
Oh,
yeah, by Burlington
By
and
Burlington.
Burlington stole a couple.
I remember leaving.
Prostitutes
and
were around everything.
I remember leaving. And I tell this motherfucker, I'm like, hey man, I'm like, dude. I was like, dude, I ain't a ride. And he was like, nah, bro, that girl, she's all on you. Go. And I'm like, dude, it's a bad idea. And he's like, no, trust me. They fucking leave.
I took his car.
No, dude, oh shit, you did.
Yeah, I go.
You're like,
give me your keys, bro. You can't drive. And then I just left.
Yeah.
That's fucking
so I just remember going, like, I had my house keys and I didn't know how to get the fuck into my car. So yeah,
we don't need to go any deeper.
It was
right
bad.
Now.
Yeah, I won't say how.
And what else happened?
Not a good time. Not a good time.
Where did you end up sleeping?
I went home, but after some, like, it was just.
Yeah,
it
why
was
don't you just stop talking?
A misadventure.
So I can have a podcast with Zio.
Yeah,
no, you don't have. You're not gonna say any of this shit.
And George. On the next 956.
But yeah, so like going back to that point, like George, I always feel like what's interesting is it's interesting to see, like.
So that was what the show was about.
No, it's interesting to see like the different the kind of like, because you call it, I think a rebirth is a good way to put it, because you call it like something that every time you put out a different series or a different like
they look similar but they're different.
They're similar but they've undergone some sort of transformation. And I remember just kind of like I remember Sio and I went to go visit you while you were working on the stuff at Laredo Center for the Arts. And I remember just feeling like being around this guy whenever he works is just, it's a good fucking feeling. The creativity, you definitely feel like the air of getting shit done, I think. So to see it evolve and like still go after the pandemic, I think to me was just like, I was afraid, man. I thought I was going to lose some more people, and like I'm glad I didn't. And I mean, of course, I wouldn't be glad if I did, but I was afraid that
I could lose some people.
I was afraid that we were going to like just not be friends, dude. I think that was just gonna like.
Am I fucked up for like never once feeling that way ever at all?
No, you've got a little sociopathic tendency, I think.
You think so?
Yeah.
No, like not feeling.
That's not a bad thing.
No, like I mean, like I never felt the fear of like people I know are gonna die. To me, it was just like no one I know is gonna die, and everything's gonna be fine.
Around a lot of healthy people, dude.
No,
I think
that's also, it's called denial. A lot of people go through that. Trust me.
It's because there was also just a shit ton of people I think that were close to us that was just we were losing, man.
Like I lost
Alex, Alvaro.
I could tell you that I lost.
I guess I was just blessed that I didn't.
Between friends and family members, I might have lost about 7 or 8.
Damn. Okay. Yes. And like,
well,
in a way, like I didn't lose anybody. You know what I mean? So that's why I was like,
I'll tell you right now, and I think me and Ruben were just talking about it. Nobody now, and listen, and everybody that's listening to this, listen to all the news, to all the places. For the past maybe 3 to 6 months, they don't call it like, oh, it's just like the flu. They don't say that shit anymore because 1 million people died.
Yeah.
They can't say that shit anymore because now they look bad. They could say it before the vaccine while they were fighting about the vaccine, but now the numbers are in. And you can't just pass it off like that. 1 million people died in America. We're not even talking about globally. And I could tell you 7 or 8 people in my life died. I know at least 4 or 5 in Ruben's life died. You know what I mean? So, like, it's not something, and we're talking in a matter of 2 years, bro. We're not talking about, if you add up all that number, we're not talking about a decade. We're talking about in 2 years flat with the vaccine.
And in a certain regard too, I think there were preventable deaths.
Yes.
Like 100%. I really think like
they should have just never created the virus in the lab in the first place,
or just isolate, right? Just but I do know it was very hard on a lot of people, and especially in the comedy scene, especially on us. I think I think we underwent a big part of that whole just a difficulty to create because we weren't able to be in person like we are now, you know? Like casting now, you know, versus us doing the virtual shit. The virtual shit was just not the same.
No.
Well, I can tell you this much. And if it wasn't for the comedy podcast, which now all those people are super rich and have giant followings, like YMH Studios and all that. That's kind of what kept me going, man. Like just watching those because every day I had something to watch.
For real, what kept me going was gaming in the very beginning. Literally, just
Warzone
playing video games
for a
with the
while?
homies. That was it. That was like what kept me going.
Yeah, gaming was a big part of it too.
I don't play games, so I'm just like
I don't play games, homie.
I don't play games. So woo.
Yeah.
So we can kind of end on this note. You wanted to talk about like the top 5 rap groups.
But we can't really talk about anything else other than Kendrick Lamar right now. So.
I was gonna say, like, did you finish listening or no?
I've listened to it 3 times.
Same.
I've done one listen through, and then I've done like going back to certain songs. I haven't done like a second listen through.
What songs are you going back to?
Silent
Hill.
Besides Silent Hill, fuck.
Kodak Black.
Yeah, dude.
Is this funny that Kodak Black was such a prominent feature on the whole album, right?
Well,
this is a big part of it.
I think that to me, you sometimes everybody sees you a certain way, but you know what you're kind of like. Like they might see you as a good guy, but you know you've done some
fucked up shit.
And you're like, nah, I'm more like this guy. I mean, you see me like this, but I'm more like this dude. And I think that's what Kendrick, why he brought it in Kodak. Like,
and I think also it gives, at least to me, and I'm not anyone to like necessarily hold any sort of opinion that holds any weight, right? Just purely as a fucking fan of rap and hip hop in general. Mm-hmm. I think that in a way, this solidifies Kodak as a not just mumble SoundCloud rapper like a lot of other people.
That's what I thought. That's what I had before. Like my opinion of him before this was that, honestly.
And you know what's weird is I don't like mumble rap, but the 2 dudes that I did respect is R&B Pop Smoke and Kodak Black. I liked him for some reason, didn't know why. So it was really weird to me when he put him on this album.
Yeah,
Kodak Black and Pop Smoke were the dudes that I would fuck with.
And I feel like it's taken him out of that pool that I had him in with like the whatever. I mean, I guess.
And some people are annoyed by that.
And like,
yeah,
all these other little whatevers,
little
like,
pumps, little Uzis, all the little.
Because I on Twitter, and this is probably just a Twitter bubble thing. Like I see so many things of like this guy was a legend, and it's like some dude that like I've never fucking heard of in my life, and I'm like
Lil Turd or whatever.
Lil Xan or Lil Lean
holy shit! I can't believe this guy died like that. And it's like, dude, this guy's gonna be a legend. Like I was like, no,
yeah.
I think that Kendrick's album, and I think I told Raj that it seems like a confessional and a goodbye letter, like saying like this is the end of TDE.
This is the end of the pandemic. This is the end of the TDE. This is the end of my rap career.
And I don't know about the rap career, but I think that it's more this stage in my life, and he confessed to all, he cheated on his wife and talks about, banging white broads that, he feels weird about, that he feels justified about. He talked about
daddy issues.
Having a
Father Time is another one.
Yeah, Father Time's a good song.
Yeah.
But I think that and I don't know if I told Roger this, but to me, he's going along the lines of like a Bob Marley type of figure. Like they're gonna look back at him like a Bob Marley type of figure, a Fela Kuti kind of figure, somebody that was kind of important to the black movement, black experience, and that everybody could identify with, like with Bob Marley, like all kinds of
Let
people.
me ask you a question that will maybe detract from the topic that we're talking about. Do you feel that like Mexicans or Latinos or whatever have a figure that is that to us?
No, not not currently, not to me. Not to me, bro.
I'm on the same boat as you, and that's why I brought it up, because I was like, I'm wondering if I was the only one that was having that sentiment.
No, I don't think so.
And I read a lot. I mean, I read a lot about that type of politics and stuff. And I think it's because
I want to share something that I think is like the integral part of like the entire absence of it is that we're technically classified as white people.
Yes.
Which is fucked up.
When we have to fill out our form. And then it says, on the next page, it says Hispanic. You can check off Hispanic.
Which is crazy.
But initially, we had to put Caucasian.
Which is crazy, right? Like, I feel like that takes away.
They should just put Hispanic where it is.
Yeah.
Where the rest of them are.
Yeah.
We're separated.
And I feel like that plays a lot into, like, there's no, like, and I don't know if this is important or not. I think it is, like, pop culture type of identity for us in that way.
We don't. I mean, how many leading men do you have that are Hispanic?
Javier Pascal is about it. Is he Hispanic?
Javier Pascal, the
guy from Narcos, the first season.
Yeah, but
I mean, Pedro is
Pedro.
Pascal,
Pedro.
and Javier Bardem. But
the fucking Mandalorian, bro.
Mandalorian.
Yeah, relax,
chill, bro.
Take it easy,
I'm
Disney.
just playing around, goddamn.
I'm just kidding.
America Chavez.
But I don't think they're American. They're from another country. One's from Spain. I think the other one's from Colombia or some shit.
Oh, okay. I thought they were like straight like
Oscar
Mexican
Isaac?
American.
Oscar Isaac's from Guatemala, but he's American.
Man, I
So he's
bet
like
you Oscar-
Guatemalan American, right?
I bet you Oscar Isaac is slamming.
He's kind of hot, man. Not gonna lie.
I mean, he's going. And I'll tell you right now, he's played every kind of role, bro. That guy is a renaissance man.
He's great in Moon Knight. See that much?
Oh, jeez. Really,
You
bro?
need to watch Moon Knight, bro. I'm telling you, it's fucking good.
How about the card counter? Did you see that when he played that one?
No.
Bring the mic closer to you.
The card counter,
no.
yeah.
I watched-
We saw it, right, Ruben?
What
The
else
guy-
was he in?
No.
Oscar Isaac was he's an Ex Machina, dude. Ex Machina's
Dune, motherfucker. Dune.
Oh, Dune, that's right. But he had a very short role in Dune, dude.
Yeah,
I
I didn't expect for him to die right away.
This is a spoiler
By
alert.
the way, Christopher Walken's coming out of Dune.
I saw that, dude. Christopher Walken's coming on the second
See, we can
part.
keep this motherfucker going for a while, but we got to
Can,
wrap
but
it up.
homeboy over here.
Yeah, dude, I can fucking leave. You want to jump in? Yeah, have him, have Ruben take my spot, dude. I just have to go pick up CO.
Yeah, I know.
But
No, man, leave her there, bro.
See
what happens. See what happens.
No, great.
Oh,
Now
hold
she's
on, we'll
gonna
flip a
beat
coin.
me.
We'll flip a coin.
See what
what's
fate
it called?
decides. Dr. Fate.
Yes, this Dune's gonna still be that guy. What's his
We'll
name?
flip it in 95 mask. Look at
Timothy.
Chalamet.
Timothy and Sandia. La Sandia.
She's a good actress.
She's alright.
She does
Dude,
her portrayal in
Zendaya,
Euphoria is really good.
I'll tell you right now, yeah. I mean, she deserves an award.
For Euphoria.
Yes.
Fucking crazy.
I haven't watched Euphoria second season. So
And I also believe that Diego Luna deserved one for Mexican Narcos, and he didn't get
Oh,
it.
100%.
I haven't watched Mexican
Oh,
Narcos either.
dude, he deserved
Really
it.
good,
He didn't
bro.
even get a nod on that.
But
shit.
fucking, he's gonna reprise his role as that dude from Star Wars in
Rogue One?
He's got it.
Rogue One?
What's his name?
No.
He's not Obi-Wan. He's not in Obi-Wan. It's from Rogue One.
I forgot the name, the character's name.
Yeah,
but I know
yeah.
what
But
you're
he's
talking
gonna have
about.
his
Isn't
own.
Oscar Isaac Poe from Star Wars?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
There you go.
He's
Another
he's
fucking role. There you go.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Oscar Isaac's all over the place.
What was the first or it was a kind of a
The new Han Solo.
they had kind of like a
He's the new Harrison Ford, I want to say.
they had kind of a gay thing going on there, right? Poe and Finn.
Was that what it was?
I mean,
I
dude,
don't
they
know.
were.
It was a weird energy.
You would know. I would
They
know.
were.
Go ahead.
They were. Dude, come on.
I thought
time-
Finn was gonna smash the white girl. What's her name? How do you the fucking Jedi bitch?
Rey?
Oh.
Yeah, Rey.
Oh.
Jedi
She
mind bitch.
was annoying. You know what? Look, this is my strong opinion. I stand by it. The broad from Rogue One, who was that? Whoever that was.
Beautiful.
She should have been Rey. And that other bitch should have been somewhere else, like in a bar somewhere in a Han Solo movie. She shouldn't have been Rey, bro.
Should have just
She
been
didn't have the
someone got shot.
She didn't have the chemistry, bro. She didn't have the chemistry to be that.
Is she Enchantress from Suicide Squad?
Come on, bro.
Or am I tripping?
Come on, bro. Come on, bro. They're 100%.
Nah, I won't accept it.
But by the way, the insult that the star next to Doctor Strange in the multiverse is a Mexican girl named America.
We said this.
That's such a fucking.
Why didn't they name her Mexico or something?
No, Juana. Like,
give her a fucking Mexican ass name, bro.
Right.
Guadalupe.
America.
Chavez, dude. What do you mean, America?
That's the name of an actress, like in real life too.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
America Chavez.
They should have named her Julio Cesar Chavez or something.
Right. Alemania Chavez.
What's her real name's like Chile or what do you say?
Yeah, they should have just used her fucking real last name, bro. That would have been really repping.
Right, and then she had an American jacket on.
Yeah, and then
she was born from lesbian.
They should have replaced the pride flag with the Mexico flag.
There's a tweet going around that is like it's fucked up that the first Hispanic hero to come out in the Marvel Cinematic Universe is a Mexican whose power is jumping borders.
That's a good one, bro. We should end right there.
Yeah,
end right there. That's a good ending right there.
Rate the album for Kendrick Lamar.
I'd give it a solid 8 or 9. Hendrick, 8 or 9.
I'm going with a 9.
I think I'm gonna agree with that.
I would give it
8.5.
To Pimp a Butterfly, I think that has
solid
a 10.
Yeah, those are.
For me personally, the 10 is Good Kid, Mad City in terms of like a classic structured hip hop album with the skits and everything.
Yes.
And then both 9s for To Pimp a Butterfly and Mr. Morale. That's my own personal take. Whatever.
I'm going solid 10s. I'm going solid 10s on both To Pimp a Butterfly and Good Kid.
How about Section 80?
I thought Section 80 is like an
8.5 bro.
I thought Damn was like a 9 for me, and
Damn was a fucking. Oh, you know what? I might have to rephrase that shit.
People don't know he's dropped 5 or 6 albums, bro, and they've all been. I mean, they've all been hits.
Even the uncut one, dude. The unmastered.
Dude, we didn't even get to the 5 where he does the.
Can we talk about that and end on that?
Yeah.
Did you ever like?
Theo sweating outside.
She doesn't get out for another 30 minutes, dude. But I need to go and get some other shit sorted out for. It's because my car's messy and she's gonna be in the passenger seat. So I need to
I'm playing. No, so let's quick. Like the Hard Part 5, dude. I fucking like that shit was powerful on another level. Like,
yes,
I heard it so many fucking times, dude, and like it still got me every time I would get to like the last verse. Like that last verse was just with
Nipsey Hussle
and Kobe, like just the whole thing together. Like it just felt insane, and like I went back to it, and what I pointed out to one of my friends was like right before that first verse starts, you hear like some breathing on it or whatever. To me, like, that reminded me of being in this super, like, meditative state when I was on psychedelic ones. Like, because that's how my breathing pattern felt.
Right.
And it just felt like being in a different, like, plane almost. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it felt very much like fucking actually channeling, like, that spirit shit. You know what I mean? Like, that's... I know. I mean, I know you probably can't relate, but
no, dude. I mean, not. You know, it's funny because you guys just brought it up, like the Hard Part 5. But I told y'all like all today I've been feeling anxious as hell, right? Because I'm getting ready to do that for tonight, and
he killed. By the way,
since
this is the future,
I've been feeling anxious as hell, and I told myself like I'm gonna do some cleaning this morning before we go and we get started with the podcast and stuff. So we started early as fuck today. Earlier than normal, and then I started listening to Kendrick, right? And so I got to that part right where you're talking about, and I felt like the breathing was just such a like a leveling that needed to happen. And it was funny that it's like I drew that from that, and you also drew like a meditative thing from that. And I think I was just kind of like focusing on that like part specifically. Because
powerful shit.
Yeah, dude. It was
some of the hardest shit that's ever been written.
For me, what he wrote,
and it wasn't even part of the album.
Nope.
Yep. And he was trying to what do you call it? If you see those last lyrics where he's talking about that he's Nipsey Hussle, he's talking about when he got shot in front of his place for the people. And then he says, Sam, he literally calls out his brother, Nipsey's brother, show my kids all my interviews and
do that shit that we said we would do.
Yeah. That was brutal.
It's just like, I'm telling you, bro, like he was in a zone when he wrote that shit. Like
yeah.
Like that was, I'm 100% convinced, and nobody can convince me otherwise, that was 1,000,000% Nip speaking about that shit. That's for real. That's how I felt.
Yeah, he was saying the story, man. I mean, that's what good writers do, bro.
There's also that thing when he talks about where he spent and this is relevant throughout the album, right? Where he talks about
the commentary on the culture.
Well, not just that, but he talks about how a lot of his struggling within like the 2 years, the things that he's been going through just after Damn and he and going into the pandemic and Trump and all these things that we've been through that as a society, like he felt like he needed to comment on, or people were trying to get him to comment on. Where he talked about, he's like, he needed to take some time, and then he talks about like he got right with God, and that's what you're hearing now, that the voice of God through him. And I was just like, shit, bro,
this motherfucker on some shit.
but yeah, I again, solid album. It's more of an experience than an album. I've heard the argument that there's no bangers on it, that people call it a mid album.
Not true. Listen to
I don't think so. I think it's a solid album, and even with no, I mean, because he's never been like a banger kind of dude, right? Like there's some bangers on Good Kid, Mad City and Section 80, but I think after that, once he hit To Pimp a Butterfly, like it wasn't going to be
complete albums. He was making works of art.
Yeah, concepts and things to dive into. So, but yeah, man, we'll have another episode. I know we could probably go on forever about this stuff. We'll have you back on.
I'm completely sober and have no medication, so I don't fall asleep.
Boom.
Right on, dude. We'll definitely have some more. But hey, y'all,
I chimed in every time. I did not fall asleep for an hour.
You did, dude. You didn't come back with Eminem at the end somewhere. But
history.
Thanks for watching, man. Y'all, go ahead and follow George at what is it? George Lopez Art or
Jorge Javier Lopez on Instagram, IG.
Yeah, there you go. Check that out. We'll put in the show notes and check out his art. Buy some shit from him.
Buy some shit.
You're having another show coming up at some point, right?
Yeah, actually, yeah. And I'm doing some work. I'm gonna do a mural, I think, for somebody.
Nice.
Yep.
What about NFTs, dude? When's your next NFT dropping?
Can you do a mural for us?
I could do a mural for you, man.
We want to get some shit in here, honestly. Just don't know how we're gonna do that.
Yeah.
Well, put some money together, guys.
Yeah.
Speaking of putting some money together, patreon.com/AOTBcast.
And if you want to sponsor us, email us or DM us. You can email us at aotb.cast@gmail.com and or DM us on Instagram if you have a cool brand. If you're a dispensary, holla at us so you can sponsor us. We love everything related to natural healing. Shout out to all our patrons. Shout out to Mr. Lemon. Shout out to Peter. Shout out to Ernie, I'm going to count him this time. Shout out to Alex. Shout out to Marlene, love you, baby girl. Shout out to Monica. And shout out to Miggy and Isaac. What?
No, yeah, you
overcounted
you
one.
Overcounted one.
So, yeah, but we love all of you guys. Thank you so much for supporting us.
Thank you for having me, man.
Yeah, dude, it was a pleasure to have you back on. I can't believe it's been 2 years.
Well, I'll have you on again very soon.
Yeah.
All right. Good luck, guys.
We love you.
Love you too.
Goodbye.